Welcome everyone to Assembly Bethesda On Air. I'm your host Hayne Fogarty, and I'm genuinely thrilled to have you join me today. We are diving deep into a particularly heavy yet incredibly foundational part of Scripture, the story of Saul's torment and his tragic suicide, as recorded in 1 Samuel chapter 16 through 31. Now, I know that sounds intense, and it absolutely is, but we're going to walk through it casually, almost like friends around a table, while still giving it the weight and atmosphere it truly deserves. This isn't just an ancient tale. It's a story of profound shadows, monumental choices, and the eternal battle for the human soul. So let's unearth the wisdom together and begin our journey into this pivotal narrative.
What's fascinating, and frankly quite chilling, is how quickly things shift. From the moment Samuel pours oil on David in chapter 16, everything changes for Saul. It's like a spiritual earthquake. The Spirit of the Lord, which once empowered the king, departs, and in its place, an evil spirit begins to trouble him. Can you imagine that shift? His own servants start to notice the profound change, this deep distress. So what do? They bring in David with his harp. And here's the thing. The music, it eases the torment. It offers brief moments of calm, like a fleeting sunrise in a deepening twilight. But, and this is crucial, it always comes back. You can almost hear those minor chords echoing in the palace halls, a temporary balm against a relentless dark. Now, that brief calm never truly lasts. What follows is a tragic escalation of Saul's jealousy, building like storm clouds on the horizon. David, the very man who brought him temporary peace, succeeds in everything he does. Goliath falls. Songs praise David more than Saul. And that's when things really start to unravel, isn't it? The spear flies across the room, not once, but time after time, David dodging death by mere inches. The king even offers his daughters in marriage, but the motives are so twisted, so insidious. Michal becomes David's wife, yes, but even that is part of the relentless chase, a pawn in a larger, darker game. The palace, once a symbol of peace and order, feels less like a home and more like a den of plots.
With the palace becoming a dangerous trap, David flees to the wilderness, but Saul, consumed by his paranoia and rage, follows relentlessly with his soldiers. Imagine the tension. Caves hide the future king, while the current king searches frantically, obsessively. Then we have those incredibly powerful scenes, like in Engedi, where David, with astonishing mercy, spares Saul's life. He cuts a piece of cloth from Saul's robe instead of taking his flesh. And for a moment, just a moment, Saul feels remorse. He acknowledges David's righteousness. But what happens? The darkness returns. The evil spirit does not release its grip without a fight, not without a prolonged, agonizing struggle. These wilderness scenes stretch out, each encounter adding layers of dread and tension to the story. The wilderness chapters are filled with repeated pursuits, betrayals by locals, and narrow escapes for David. You see Saul's paranoia grow, becoming a consuming fire. He even goes so far as to kill the priests at Nob, believing they aided David. Innocent blood stains his path, a truly horrific act born of his spiraling madness. The atmosphere throughout these passages is thick with dread, like walking through a heavy mist where every shadow might be an enemy or another betrayal waiting to happen. The Ziphites, for example, come to Saul offering information on David's location, showing just how isolated David becomes. Yet, what's always clear is that even in the deepest wilderness, God protects him. His hand is always present. Now, of all the chilling moments in Saul's story, chapter 28 truly stands out. It's a moment of profound desperation. Saul consults a medium at Endor. Why? Because God has gone silent. He's tried everything else, and in his despair, he turns to what is forbidden. And what happens? Samuel actually appears, delivering a hard message of impending defeat and death. Saul collapses, utterly proctor, knowing his end is near. This forbidden ritual only deepens his isolation, pushes him further into the abyss.
Even the medium herself is startled by Samuel's appearance. Imagine that. The one performing the dark ritual is shaken. Saul has to be encouraged, even physically helped to eat, before facing the inevitable, dreadful battle. Finally, we reach Mount Gilboa. The Philistines press hard, and the battle goes terribly. Jonathan, Saul's own loyal son, and other sons fall. Wounded and facing utter defeat, Saul makes a final, tragic choice. He asks his armor-bearer to finish him. When the armor-bearer refuses, Saul falls on his own sword. Suicide ends his reign, a truly devastating and heartbreaking tragedy. His body is later desecrated by enemies, a once promising king gone. But throughout these chapters, we learn so much about the doors we can open to torment through disobedience. Jealousy poisons the well. Temporary relief, like David's music, shows the power of worship, but it needs a surrendered heart to truly transform. David's mercy always foreshadows grace. Saul's story is a stark warning for all of us. Stay incredibly close to God. This full journey through 1 Samuel 16 to 31 reveals so much about human nature and spiritual realities. The evil spirit torments because a door was opened by rebellion, by a heart that wouldn't fully surrender. Jealousy grows when we compare ourselves to others instead of trusting God's unique plan for us. The forbidden consultation at Endor shows what happens when we refuse to wait on God, when we grasp for control in desperation. And suicide, in this context, comes from the deepest despair, when all hope seems utterly lost. Yet, even in this dark narrative, the story points us toward hope in the coming king, David, who himself will need God's grace many, many times. For us listening today, the call is crystal clear. Do not let an evil spirit find room in your life through unrepented sin. Do not allow jealousy to rule your thoughts. Seek God's voice while it can be found. Worship Him with all your heart. Show mercy, even to those who chase you or persecute you. And ultimately, finish the race well.
We could honestly talk for hours on each detail of this profound story. The emotional weight of Saul's decline, the almost gothic imagery of haunted caves and silent heavens, the chaos of the battlefield, and that tragic final choice at the end. Each element builds a powerful, vivid picture, meant to stir us toward faithfulness in our own lives and deepen our understanding of God's character. May this scripture settle deeply in your heart and draw you ever nearer to the Lord, the one who rescues us from all darkness and offers everlasting hope. Thank you for joining me today. As always, it is a genuine pleasure to spend this insightful time with you. God bless, and until next time, remember, courage. Thank you again, and if you like what I do here, head on over to www.assemblybethesda.com. I'd love to connect with you there and continue this conversation.